Rather large, welcome back to Cossy Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. Now, we are all obsessed with Declan Rice signing for Arsenal, shirt number 41, the big captain, the new Patrick Vieira. And surely it's a very big signing. But we've forgotten about one thing, that Arsenal this week have also signed another player in Jurrien. He was announced as an Arsenal player in the last 23 hours. And I'm going to be doing my full analysis on Jurrien, what to expect from Jurrien. Now, I've done my expectations of Declan Rice and Kai Havertz. I will do a separate video on the full expectations of Jurrien, but in this video, I'm going to be diving into what he brings to Arsenal. What have Arsenal just signed in the last 24 hours? Although he might not be the big signing, £100 million signing of Declan Rice. He's not the £65 million signing of Kai Havertz, who has played in the Premier League. He doesn't have that Premier League pedigree as compared to Rice and Kai Havertz. I think he might be one of the signings of the summer if people do not actually watch out. It might be one of the signings that just take the Premier League by storm. We're going to be diving into some of the quotes and interviews from Edu and Arteta as well, and some of the little excerpts from his first interview at Arsenal. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Let's get this video to 500 likes. Now, yes, it was confirmed yesterday that Arsenal signed the big man, Jurrien, who will be putting on shirt number 12 at Arsenal, and that is done and dusted. So according to the Arsenal website, they said Netherlands international Jurrien joined us from Ajax on a long-term contract. The 23-year-old defender was a key member of the Ajax team, where he made 121 senior appearances in all competitions, winning 2 league titles and a Dutch Cup during his time with the Amsterdam side. That is a point we've got to note there. A winner. Again, we've signed Rice as a winner. We've signed Jurrien as a winner. And we have signed still Kai Havertz as a winner in this summer. According to the Arsenal website, they also say that Jurrien joined Ajax's academy in 2014 with his twin brother, Quintem, who currently plays for Eredivisie side Feyenoord. The versatile player signed his professional contract for Ajax in 2018 and went on to make his senior debut in a 3-1 win over Heerenveen in March 2020. Jurrien was a member of the Netherlands squad both at the UEFA Euro 2020 and the 2022 FIFA World Cup, which was absolutely bizarre, making his senior debut for the national team in June 2021 when he started in a 2-all friendly against Scotland. That is according to the Arsenal website, and of course, you can hear his first interview right on the Arsenal website. Now, sporting director Edu has said, we are very happy to bring Jurrien to Arsenal. He's a player that we admired for a long time. It is a credit to everyone in our team that has actually made this happen. Jurrien is a young, talented international who fits our vision of competing with a young squad. I know Jurrien cannot wait to get started, and we're really hoping that he will be a great success here for many, many years. Manager Arteta said, we are really excited that Jurrien has joined us. He's a versatile young defender who will fit into our system and provide our squad with so much added quality that we have been looking for. Jurrien is a young player, but has also achieved a lot. He has much experience, what it's like to go for a major international tournament on more than one occasion, and as well winning trophies with Ajax. We look forward to welcoming and integrating Jurrien into the squad. He will be putting on shirt number 12, so you can get yours on the Arsenal website. Definitely, I'm going to be putting on Declan Rice and Jurrien next season. And the transfer is subject to regulatory processes, as you know, as each and every transfer that we do. So I like what Edward said about this deal, that we've looked at him for quite some time. I kind of feel like it's a lie, right? But we will take it. We will absolutely take it. Because why I think it's a lie, we know that Jurrien was almost joining Manchester United last summer. So I'm kind of wondering if Arsenal started looking at him after failing to go to Man United, or they're simply lying to our faces. But Mikel Arteta says that he brings that versatility, young player who is a winner, who has won 2 Eredivisie championships there with Ajax. Also a player that has played at the World Cup, a player that has played for the Euros. So he's a player who is actually not a newcomer to the big stage. And that exactly dives into what he brings to Arsenal. Number one, we've talked about squad depth. We've talked about added quality with Mikel Arteta. Let's start there. Now, I think last season, we had a pretty very much good squad. And we blew so many people. I think Bryce was speaking about this today in his interview. And he said, Arsenal blew so many clubs out of proportion. They blew so many clubs out of the water last campaign, and it was a no-brainer for any club, for any player to go, I want to play for Arsenal there. You could see what is happening. You could see what's going on. But we blew so many clubs out of the water. We blew so many clubs out of proportion. But there were games where we were also blown out of the water. There was also games where we were blown out of proportion, and that's why that's where a player like Jurrien Timber actually comes in. Game number 1. Manchester City at the Emirates Stadium, a much-needed game. A game where Arsenal had previously lost to Everton at the Goodson Park. We had drawn at home to Brentford, a 1-1 draw, Ivan Toney finding the equalizer. And that game was a do-or-die. That game was a very much important game. And I tell you what, when we played that game, it didn't seem important. It didn't seem like we really wanted to play that game. It seemed as if Arsenal came in that game a little bit depressed, a little bit scared, and a little bit short of quality. Tomiyasu gave away the ball for the first goal for Kevin De Bruyne to coolly finish, and the rest is history. I think that is where players like Jurrien Timber come in. That is where a player like Kai Havertz come in. Because we've added more quality than quantity this summer. I don't think Arsenal are going to sign so many other players. Could be 1 or 2. So we are looking at adding more quality than quantity. And of course, enlarging and making our squad bigger. I think when you put Jurrien Timber instead of Ben White or Tomiyasu, that is better. That is an upgrade. If you put Kai Havertz in the left 8 instead of Xhaka, going forward, that is an upgrade. And if you replace Xhaka and Partey defensively with Declan Rice, that is an upgrade. So I think Jurrien Timber will actually, first and foremost, bring in that added quality to the side, especially in games where it's going to be a do or die. Goodson Park away, Anfield away, Etihad away, Man United away. Those are going to be do or die games, and players like Jurrien Timber are actually going to be very, very crucial. The second one is the ability to play 2 inverted fullbacks for Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. Now, of course, we know Mikel Arteta does not love to see, and he actually doesn't want his centre-backs to be dribbling. He doesn't want dribbling centre-backs. He wants his centre-backs to pick up the ball and make those. It could be a long pass, but he wants the easy pass. He wants the easy option from his centre-back. Now, what Jurrien Timber is going to help us do is easy. Because Declan Rice is evolving as a B2B, more like, rather than a central defensive midfielder or a defensive midfielder, typically. It's going to be Jurrien Timber stepping into that midfield to cover that defensive role, to cover that defensive space that will be left by Declan Rice. Now, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of work will be done by Declan Rice. He's a top elite ball winner. But so is Jurrien Timber. And because he's so comfortable on the ball, keeping things ticking, ball distribution, switching from side to side, and passing that ball into the final third, those are things Arsenal will get. But of course, we'll be able to play with 2 inverted fullbacks with Declan Rice in the pivot, Jurrien Timber on his right-hand side, and Alexander Zinchenko joining him on his left-hand side. So we might see a 2-3 kind of 5 formation from Arsenal, where we have Rice, Zinchenko and Jurrien Timber in midfield. Of course, Gabriel and Saliba will stay back. Then you'll have Havertz, Odegaard, Saka, and Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus going forward to create all those chances, all right, and score the goals as well. So we will see a lot of that. We will see a lot of Jurrien Timber drifting into midfield, helping out defensively, and that will allow Declan Rice to go in front. But of course, the other thing is a cover for Martin Odegaard, because Rice is such a good ball winner. I expect Martin Odegaard to concentrate and fully concentrate on the attacking side of his game. I also expect that Declan Rice will be able to progress the ball right from defense to attack. But in case he doesn't do that, in case Declan Rice stays a little bit high up the pitch as we build up, a player like Jurrien Timber is going to be absolutely important, key, marvelous, and very, very crucial to our build-up. Because last season, it was more of Partey dropping in to pick up the ball with Alexander Zinchenko. Those were the two players that were mostly dropping back to get the ball. Ben White, a little bit higher up the pitch. Saka, our most advanced player on the pitch, as always. And Martin Odegaard was always the player pressing, pressing the opponent's defenders so that they are not under a lot of comfort, right? So we know how advanced Odegaard is and how he plays for Arsenal. So it's going to be Jurrien Timber and Declan Rice dropping in deep to get those balls, but he will be giving Odegaard a lot of cover. Last season, Xhaka really pressed a lot. Like, Xhaka really did a lot of defensive work for Alexander Zinchenko. I don't think Odegaard is going to do that defensive work on the right-hand side. He doesn't do it a lot, right? Because it's kind of like the brain. Of course, he drops deep, especially at the center line, and picks up that ball. But I think with Jurrien Timber, Odegaard will have the license to go forward without any... without having the need to look over his shoulder, and will create a lot of chances, and will do whatever he wants with the ball, knowing that there is a guy behind him that will win the ball back, and also knowing that there is a guy that he can actually fall back to if a move doesn't materialize. So I think those are the two things that you need to watch out for next season: how Martin Odegaard progresses forward as Jurrien Timber covers him, and also how players like Declan Rice will be having the license and the permission to go further forward. But in the other things that we have brought at Arsenal, apart from the cover for Rice and Odegaard and the option to play to inverted players in midfield, the experience and the mentality. It looks like that is what we're looking at. It's something that Arsenal have focused on. Go for players that are young. At 22, he has won 2 league titles already. He's played at a World Cup and he's played at the Euros. Jurrien Timber is such an experienced player at a very, very young age. He's also played, I think, in 3 campaigns for Ajax in the UEFA Champions League. Like, at 22, players are going for 14 million euros. Like, 12 million euros. Why? Never played in the UCL. Probably played there once. Never played at a World Cup. Never played for the Euros. Like, players are very hard to market. But Jurrien Timber is a different one. Like, at 22, he's literally played in every tournament a player wants to play in. Euros, Champions League, won the league at Ajax, World Cup. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So that experience and that mentality, that winning mentality, he definitely knows how to win the league. He definitely knows the challenge there is in that marathon to win the league. And of course, what Arsenal are looking for is we are looking for that one time that we can run away with it. That one time that we can just surprise the world and be champions. That is going to be the end, and it will be the start. Because if we win the league and we win the Champions League for our first time, it will be the end. So no one will say Arsenal do not have the experience. Everybody will say, when do they win it again? Okay, so for me, the experience and the mentality is something that Mikel Arteta has been poaching, and he definitely gets it in Jurrien Timber. Brilliance and excitement is something you will get. I think with Declan Rice, although we kind of overhype him, I don't think there is a lot of brilliance and excitement to his game. Like, I'll give you an example. Martin Odegaard will do a back heel somewhere. Saka will beat a man somewhere. fantastically. Martinelli has those, ridiculous, fantastic footwork, and he will beat a man somewhere, right? I don't think Rice has that to his game. It's the same thing with Kai Havertz. I don't think Kai Havertz is an exciting, brilliant player. I think he's a very good master of his game, like we will see with we will see with players like Aparte. Like, he's more like Partey when he masters his craft and is very good at it. But I think with Jurrien Timber, what you will see an extraordinary fullback passing out from the back, breaking the lines, like doing extraordinary stuff as a centre back. We've already seen the highlights. He's unreal. He's an absolute gem. And finally, Mikel Arteta gets that extra creativity and versatility in the team. I think with the extra creativity, it's going to be upon Mikel Arteta to evolve this boys' chance creation, and also playing more balls into the final third. I tell you what, there is no Arsenal player last season that played the ball into the final third more than Jurrien Timber. And also to be very, something that's very interesting here is that Jurrien Timber is 22. So if Arsenal can make him a chance-creating fullback, creating chances from deep, I mean, that actually reduces the risk of Aaron Ramsdale having to go long, because he can go short. He will have options in Declan Rice and Jurrien Timber, and of course Timber and Rice will be able to create chances from deep. The versatility obviously comes in from that, in the space of fullback coverage, right back and centre back. But then, of course, we know he can play in that midfield. We can play as a midfielder, which is also something that Arsenal definitely will need next season. Welcome to Arsenal, Jurrien Timber. Welcome to Arsenal. I don't think it's not a matter of thinking whether it will work out. He's one of those where I know he will work out. Like, he might take a season, probably, but he will work out. And if he works out, and Rice works out, and Havertz works out, it's going to be an interesting season. Like, it's going to be an interesting 10 months for Arsenal fans to watch.